Good morning, everyone. I was about to say afternoon, but good morning, everyone. I wanted to make a quick video. Let me include my group into this. I hope you guys are having a blessed morning. I just want to bring you guys some information because if you are not aware, I have a group and I always leave the description in the link, and I invite anyone that have questions to feel free to join the group. My Facebook friends is actually for quite some time now. It's been maxed out on the number of people I can accept as friends. So I try to direct everyone to the group. And if you have any questions you want to direct towards me, feel free. And we have a whole community there that can also help you with your questions. I know we have some new people that join the group, and a main hot topic that stays in the group is probably the number one is collections. So I'm answering this question that comes up concerning medical collections. Okay, but real quick, I just want to mention some things. On March 7th, if you're located in the state of New Jersey, a sponsorship by Pearls, Promises, and Prayers, I will be doing a credit workshop. So the ticket sales is $20. I posted the information on here. It's a charitable organization. So if you're coming out, the proceeds will be going towards charity. So your support would be greatly appreciated. The address of the location is 124 Clinton Place in Newark, New Jersey. Also, I will be there tomorrow. I was invited in by Pastor Reverend Robinson, so I'll be speaking that evening. So if anybody that's interested to come in, it will not be more or less towards credit, but it's more of a spiritual correlation. If anybody don't know, I'm a Christian, so just kind of mixing the natural with the spiritual things. So people that know me personally know that I love to study the Bible. I love the history of the Bible, Proverbs. All of that is kind of where I get my inspiration for looking at credit, understanding different things. So most of that you guys get anyway, and just understanding of, I love looking at even the law of Moses, the law, Levitical, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, just like reading from me the Old Testament. So it always corresponds with making sense. So I will be speaking there tomorrow if you're interested in joining us there. Also, I want to include this weekend, I'm working with the Gregory Thomas Foundation, my friend Tamika Thomas Darwin. She has an organization, and I'll be working with her this weekend, providing information for Black History Month in reference to credit here in the state of New Jersey, and I will be posting the address. Also, all of that will be in this video description. And my daughter has a group. I'm a part of it. If you're interested, it's called Millennial Money Making. So that side of the group, we talk about business. A lot of people, if you're not aware, most of our credit problems come from cash flow. So that group is dedicated to help those who are interested in starting their own business. And honestly and truthfully, you cannot afford to at least have something on the side, even for the tax benefits. Right now is tax season. If you don't have dependents, it is very important for you to start some kind of business, even just to help you, with getting tax breaks. Now the law has changed even for personal exemptions. Under the new administration, some of those exemptions was taken away if you're an employee. So it will be in your best interest for you to start your own business in your home, because you can get certain write-offs for your vehicle, home office, lights, cell phone, all of that you can create into a tax write-off legally, and it will save you some money just to invest in yourself and start your own business. And I know prior was starting a new business venture, I believe, now don't quote me on this, but I believe you can get a tax exemption. It might be from $5,000 to $25,000 for starting a new business. So, things like your lease for your vehicle starts to become a tax write-off, and I'm a firm believer in this because I've been experienced being a business owner since I was 21, and that was some of the saving grace I had when I had a job making really good income. It gave me a tax shelter. So when people say they pay money back, it kind of blows my mind. I'm like, how are you paying money back? Because the way the system works, you're working and they take taxes out already. Your biggest liability for people is your tax liability. They take it straight out your check. That's money you don't see. And then turn around at the end of the year and say, you owe us more money. It's crazy to me. The way my business works, I get all my money, and then this time of year, sit down with my accountant and tell the government if I owe them anything after all my business ventures is paid for and I paid for myself. So I have yet to pay anything back. Okay, figure that one out. And like I said, my story, we had in 4 months when we were doing grass cuts, making $80,000 a year, sometimes $90,000 a year, and no taxes for that, because people don't understand. This is why it's going to be very hard for them to tax the wealthy. The wealthy don't work for their money. When you're working for your money, they're taking yours up top. And the way the tax code work, when you have a business or you have investments, you get your write-offs differently. You take what your earnings is, and then you show the government my losses, what comes to me, and if there's anything left, then I pay you. But when you're working a job, totally opposite. So it's in your best interest to learn how to start a business. My daughter herself runs my social media. A lot of you guys that email me, you're corresponding with her. She sets up my website. She does everything for me, mostly for my social media platforms, and she's administrator. She runs and do a lot of posting, mostly manage that in my group. I reply to questions, but she'll oversee it and see if it's something I need to address, and all of those with the welcome, she handles that. She also does have other accounts, so if you're interested for her to working with you and your business, even setting up for you a initial landing page, for her to help you. If you don't know, she's in college right now. She should be. This is finishing up her semester, so she'll finish her business degree, fashion merchandising. She has an associate's in fashion merchandising, and she is specializing in supply chain. And she have also wrote for magazines, Exposed magazine, one of them. Coco Wade can attest for that, been her assistant. And so with marketing, promotion, she is excellent at that. If you need some help with that, feel free to hit her up. But I'm going to go into the subject is about medical collections. One thing about medical collections, you guys, medical collections is abnormal for normal collections because it's more of consumer, like when you're dealing with credit cards. But the tricky thing for collection companies and medical collections, even service providers, your healthcare providers, the HIPAA law is involved. If you don't know, I'm quite sure all of us have heard of the HIPAA law, but it's a federal law to protect certain information, privacy information of yours. You have a right to privacy. So what they call as PHI. So that is privacy history information. So it's protected health information that is yours yourself. So and it can be used interchangeably, personal health information. So there's certain key identifiers. Anything that identify your personal health information to certain markers, data markers, including your social security number, your date of birth, lab work that was done, mostly that billing information is tied in to the HIPAA law when it comes down to dealing with health and billing. So when you have a collection company trying to collect from you on that debt, and they're involved or they have an allegiance with a healthcare provider, they fall under the HIPAA law. They have to abide by the HIPAA law standards. And a lot of these companies that buy this debt is not equipped to do so. If you're not aware, if they do not comply with the HIPAA law, the government has set up certain violations. So they can be fined up to $50,000. And if they're a repeat offender, it can go up to $1.5 million. Also, there is, if it's tied into where the government is now really trying to control identity theft, when it comes for them an interest in making money, having your personal information to try to extort you out of money, it can roll under the HIPAA law of being a criminal offense. So it's very serious. So your first step when you're dealing with a medical collection, a collection across the board, period, is to verify the debt. You take the step of debt validation. But when it comes down to a normal collection, a lot of people might get a response from that collection company of, if it was a credit card collection debt, they'll send you the credit card bill. It still doesn't give them a legal right to collect on a debt, because a bill is owed don't mean you owe a debt. Or they have a legal right to collect on that debt because you owe a debt. But when it comes down to medical collections, if they send you back information, this could be a violation of your HIPAA law. Them having access to certain private information, even down to your social security number, your date of birth, your address, is 18 identifiers, your email address, your telephone number. Them having that personal private information of yours is a violation. So a lot of times with these companies, if they have that information and they respond back with that information to you, they can be under violation, not only them, but the medical care provider that you went to. So you have a right under HIPAA to request with your healthcare provider themselves the where that you gave them authorization to share your personal private medical information with the outside source. Where did I sign my privacy or authorization? Send me a copy of that where I allowed you to release my medical history to an outside agency. And if that outside agency is part of your care provider system, under the obvious rule, they have to have a contract, a business contract. And you can also demand that information. Well, where's your business contract? And if they are under contract with you, they have to abide by HIPAA laws. So you can demand for both companies, your primary health care provider that gave them that information, and the collection company to give them their privacy notices, because they're supposed to, when you go to your doctor, they always update that notice with you. They have you to sign up on that privacy notice. That is to tell you their standards of operations for keeping your personal medical history and your personal identifiers secure. Okay, so that is your right under HIPAA, and if either one is violating, they're actually overseen by the Office of Civil Rights. So you can file a complaint. So when it comes down to medical collections, it's very important that you do not pay that debt. You validate the debt first, because a lot of these medical companies, medical collection accounts with collection companies is a violation of the HIPAA law in itself. So you need to first validate the debt and see what their response back. If they send you certain information that have your personal medical history, procedures, they're in violation of the HIPAA law. And your response could be to send that back, a letter back stating that they are. And most likely, these companies do not want to take it further. We have a gentleman that was in the group. He had a judgment against him, and it was for a medical bill. And they got the judgment. Apparently, they must have had a go-around where he didn't get the court date to show up in court, and they got a judgment. He went to the court, and the judge overturned the judgment that they got for $8,000 for a medical bill. And they took money out of his check, out of his pay. That company now has to pay him back because they could not produce the information. Because little known to people, if they do have certain information, they're violating the HIPAA law. So even individual states have their own standards. They might have their own state laws of HIPAA and how they should operate with medical health information. So I hope you guys, this is helpful. If you are having this kind of situation, I do offer 2 solutions. One solution that you can go to my website, and I have a collection package. You can get, if you only have medical collections, you can get the medical collection package that I have, and I have letters already pre-written out stating this information. Also, you can take the deluxe package that I have, and it's for just consumer type of collections, credit card collections, cell phone bill collections, but also it includes the letters for medical collections. So you do have that option. I'll put that link in the description. If you need those letters, if you need a debt validation letter with that kind of medical and HIPAA law information, I have already done that for you. Also, if you are being pursued with a legal situation now, being contacted by an attorney, and just in connection with a medical collection, feel free. I'll leave my number, or you can join the group. I'll give you my number, and I always advocate to getting a legal service. If people are not aware, you can have an attorney that will be on your payroll working for you by using a legal service. I talk about that in my book on how I handled situations, because I keep me a legal service subscription where you're paying less than $1 a day, less than $30 a month, and you can have an attorney to reach out to these companies and write you a letter. And the thing with the medical information, the attorney that you're connected to and their actual licensed attorney in your state, and they have them in all 50 states, will be able to educate you on your state's HIPAA violation. Even this is great to use, like I tell people, if you had a repo in the past, get these services because you can get your hands on that contract and turn it over to that attorney, and they will review that contract and let you know if it's any violations in your local law that these companies have taken advantage of you. So if it's in repossession, medical collections, they can review it and let you know and tell you how to proceed. So as I have in my book, one of my personal experience, y'all see I use my local court system a lot to resolve these types of situations very quickly. So if you have gotten my material, that's why I said it's very important to get 2 to 3 names of the employees that's working at these companies along with the company name, so you can file a small claims court lawsuit if necessary and use it as leverage. The problem with us, when you have a collection or reporting to your credit, they have leverage. And the leverage that they have is reporting negative information on your credit report. So you can use your local state laws, your local court system to turn around and create leverage for, if it's a regular consumer debt, defamation of character, if they're reporting that on your credit report. They're lying on you if they don't have a legal right to collect a debt. If it's a medical collection, violation of my HIPAA law right. And then add to that there are defamating my character again. Because when it comes down to your credit worthiness, it's a way that companies judge you on your personal character. So it is a defamation of character and who you are. And the majority of states have defamation on the books as a civil lawsuit you can pursue. I posted in my group maybe a couple of weeks ago, there are 24 states that not only have that as a civil penalty where you can get damages, but it's a criminal offense also to defame somebody's character. So by having these attorney services, you can consult an attorney and you can find out where you are with your rights and if your rights are being violated, and particularly in your state. Now, the state over, you might talk to somebody and that might not be on the books, but you can talk to an attorney and they can tell you where you're being violated in your own individual state. So if you have want a referral, or I really just don't, promote, you can call me if you got judgments or lawsuits pending, and I will help you with that. And I'll point you in the direction of a legal service that I actually use if you're interested in that information. So I hope all of this information is helpful. If you feel that your friends and family members can benefit for this information, please feel free to share the video. If you're watching this video on Facebook, share it. If you're watching it on YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel. Share them information, because it is tax season and people are paying these bills. Even if it's I had to stop my father yesterday. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you really, as much as I talk about collections, going to pay a collection company? Oh, it's $87. That's most people, but it's going to tear down your credit. So I had to ring him and take that, and I'm going to handle that for him to get rid of that. And it's now even insurance companies are just coming out the blue. And I'm like, you have insurance. I know you have insurance, and now they're hitting you with a bill. They did that to me through Progressive. And I had insurance. I just switched insurance carriers from Progressive, and then they hit me with a bill, a collection. So I just like, come on. But that's a whole nother, because as people know, I held an insurance license for property, casualty, life, and health. So I already know that with them. Like, now that's a whole nother ball game. Now y'all know y'all being foolish, because you cannot, what you have, double insurance. You're not, you can't over insure. That's just a violation in itself. So I hope this information is helpful. Thank you guys for tuning in. Dawn Patterson, thank you so much. Reach out to me if you need more information in my inbox, and I'll give you my number. Anybody that need the information, because I had somebody yesterday. I have a couple people. It seemed like it's lawsuit season or something. If you need help and you have pending lawsuits coming up, or a lawyer in reference to that collection contacting you, especially if they're in your state and you saw that debt, it was outside of your state and they sold it to an attorney in your state, they fixing to sue. Okay, so you want to make sure you don't let that sit there, because like I constantly tell you guys, lawyers are also finding that this is a very lucrative business, and a lot of them have stepped out of defending on a civil level, criminal level, and came into the market of being a debt collector, being a collection company, and then they will set up like they are defending Capital One. I'm the attorney for Capital One, when they actually own that debt themselves. Okay, so make sure that you guys, if you have questions about that, get in contact with me. I will be listening to I go back and I read the comments, and I will be replying to your comments if you have detailed questions. Hopefully this is helpful. Be blessed.